Hey guys, Nick here. Hope you guys like the new intro. You're gonna love the outro too. It was from one of my old YouTube channels, decided to bring it back to add more pizzazz. But anyways, we are going to get into today the next part 23 to be specific, of What If Sophia Joined Negan, and Eugene and Milton's continued success way earlier on in the story to the advances of Alexandra and their usages. The bullets, that's trivial, like I discussed before, and that is happened way earlier on in the story, and Alexandra has a friggin' stockpile of fresh ammunition. And as for the whole going to the roof thing, expanding radio connection, that happens way earlier on because of Milton's involvement. And this is just getting into Season 7 territory by the time that this would just be test run. So, we're getting a lot of advances way earlier on because of Milton's involvement. But, even though the whole radio thing's happening, keep in mind, this is just Season 7 territory. The whole Whisperer thing and the cemetery, that ain't gonna happen just yet. We will get to them, don't worry, but keep in mind, this is all happening way earlier on in the story, so we ain't really going to touch on them this episode, but we will get to something intriguing here later. Anyways, we also get Eugene's little taste into the whole radio thing because of Milton being there, but we're not getting any fake Stephanie stuff yet, but it will happen here soon. But I'm going to touch on some of the other stuff that I forgot to, or really, not really forgot so much as didn't have time to, of what happened after the whole Sophia Savior incident. Aaron and Eric are still a thing because Eric's still alive. He never died, like I've done before. And something that a lot of you were curious to see, Morales and Sophia meeting together. This whole series, I have Morales' existence, basically, since he was at the satellite outpost, basically just being just secret. Because think about it. Negan never mentioned anything about Morales to anybody, because if it had, he would have met everybody in the group way earlier on, and things with the Saviors could have been way more peaceful. But here, it's just a secret. So Sophia finding out about it, this would definitely surprise her. Sure, she's justifying herself on the whole sanctuary being outside of all the other communities, especially after Negan. But she decides, as a pretty much one good little go-away present, or just like farewell gift of sorts, to tell everybody who knew Morales of the old group, including her mom, which she's at the sanctuary already, about Morales' existence. So that way they can all get together and, see each other. It's pretty much like a farewell present for Sophia and the group. Like I said, she's not going away forever. She's just sidelined with the Saviors and everything. Also, Sadiq does get saved, and I feel it would be Rick, Carl, and maybe Lori, but honestly, however it would happen and stuff like that, it really doesn't matter. Sadiq was more of a side character anyway. But then we get a long time skip. I'm talking, this would be very substantially long. We get a 2-season time skip, basically. Everything major that impacted season 7 and 8 really wouldn't happen here, because duh. So we get to season 9, the entrance to it, and Eugene and Milton, with their amazing success, have actually gotten the whole radio thing down. And Eugene talks with the fake Stephanie and everything, and arranges a meeting. And yeah, like I said, keep in mind, This is season 9 we're talking about. So this is happening a season earlier than when it did originally. Well, season and a half, but still. Ezekiel would still go, I feel, but no Yumiko. Because remember, we haven't had the 6-year time skip from the middle of season 9. So Yumiko and Magna and all them, they ain't going to be around yet until the 6 years. So who is going to take Yumiko's place? Well, Milton, of course, because for one thing, their friendship over this time has grown substantially, and their minds and everything. To have Milton not go would really be kind of stupid. And for another, it's just need to put someone to go with, and Milton's the obvious pick. Soon enough, pretty much everything goes per normal outside of Yumiko not being there. Meet Princess and the whole Commonwealth thing, it's just the interactions with Yumiko getting hurt and Princess talking wouldn't happen. And another big thing is because of how earlier that this is happening, Sebastian would just be just a little kid. He wouldn't even be the teenager / kind of adult that he was, because this would be 6, 7, 8 years earlier, I think. So, well, definitely 6. So Sebastian would just be a little kid. So we're not going to have any Eugene punching him or anything like that. If Sebastian was a little rowdy, Eugene wouldn't punch a little kid. I know that for a fact. So, yeah. Lance would still be insistent on finding the community and everything, except it wouldn't be, I feel, as pressed here, because Eugene wouldn't do anything, I feel, to botch up his standing in the Commonwealth like he did whenever he punched Sebastian. So that wouldn't happen here. It would take more time. So, around the episode where Rick originally left the show and, blew up the bridge and everything, that's the episode where we would see the Commonwealth come to Alexandria. So, nice little twist there. And there would be a lot more people, and Alexandria would be in much better condition. And Commonwealth is coming to Alexandria, keep in mind, 2 seasons earlier than original. We are already introducing the Commonwealth before the Whisperers. That's how advanced the story is here. And Rick being there, definitely, I've addressed the whole Rick being automatically just being able to kill Lance, put Pamela in jail and everything like that. But with how the dynamics have gone for this story compared to, what if Rick spared Shane, or stuff like that, the dynamics for the Commonwealth coming to Alexandria with Rick around are going to be different this time. Lance's tricks aren't known up until later. And we still get the whole Eugene and the fake Stephanie reveal, and that she was a spy, and pretty much everything that went down before, but way earlier, and I feel Milton would be involved way more. So besides that, nothing really differentiates, except it's happening way earlier also. Abraham would also get a nice little bromance or friendship with Mercer, which I feel would be a dramatic, I'm talking like a big, good little character upgrade for Abraham, because I feel that his involvement with Mercer would definitely help out the standards of the Commonwealth. And Deanna being around helps Pamela, as I've discussed before, not really resort to such drastic measures and be a crazed lunatic like she was originally. But even though I say that, it's not like she was the governor from frickin' Woodbury. Now that was crazy. She was more or less a died-down version of that, but point being, Deanna helps. Anyways, for the 2% of you that care about Gregory, he is still around, but soon enough, the whole leadership of Hilltop thing comes up. He tries his old tricks, but that doesn't go too well with Glenn being around, because both of them see this from a mile away, even before Gregory tries to stage the whole plan to get Maggie on her own and everything. So Gregory ends up getting either killed by Glenn or Maggie, or both, or gets hanged way earlier on. Well, by way earlier, I mean like earlier in the episode where he actually got hung. But anyways, after all is said and done, Pamela eventually hears about Sophia and her involvement with the group here, and how she is part of another community called the Sanctuary, who lifted themselves off from all the other communities, and she is now the leader because the old leader died, and there was a feud between communities. Pamela takes interest in Sophia and decides to check out the Sanctuary for herself, even though some of the others don't really think that is a good idea, depending on what Sophia would do. Never know. But anyways, Pamela doesn't really care too much. She's better with Deanna around, but she doesn't really care. Anyway, her and a bunch of Commonwealth soldiers decide to go to the Sanctuary. But will this turn ugly? What about the Whisperers? Will Sophia retaliate? Or will this actually make things infinitely better for the group? And that's where we leave things for the moment. Already tying into the Commonwealth this early on, and we haven't even gotten to the Whisperers yet, which we will touch upon in the next episode. But I think that the next episode's really going to cover how Sophia will react to the Commonwealth and Pamela and everyone else. Because even though it's not going to be like a war or anything, it's still going to be something to witness, that's for sure. But I hope you guys truly enjoyed this episode. We are slowly approaching the end. Not quite, but we are definitely getting there. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.